what are we talking about today? This was kind of your idea. You seemed very excited about it.
I am. Two Friedkins, Cruising and The Guardian.
Yep. These are I think that Cruising is fairly well known in the Friedkin oeuvre. The Guardian is sort of notorious or infamous, I guess. As one of his worst. That's a lot of people think that.
Who? Name names.
Name names. Heidi Fleiss. Alex Pardee. Yeah. No, it's just in terms of, it was just lambasted in terms of when it came out, everybody hated it. It didn't make any money. It was disappointing.
Yeah, I don't think I was really, I had seen Cruising before. The Guardian, it wasn't really on my radar until I think you mentioned it at some point. And so it was on my to watch list, and I just watched it last month for the first time.
I like The Guardian. I remember seeing it. I'm of a particular age where I was, I think, nine, somewhere around 9 or 10 when they were advertising it on TV. And it was really funny because it was back in that time, the trailers were a lot different, as you can remember, where they just kind of they did their own, a trailer was its own thing. They didn't just take clips from the movie and edit it together. It was they had their own, and this one was a hallway. It's the cover of the VHS or the poster, where it's just someone in a cloak in a hallway and with a blue light behind them. And it's it's he brought you The Exorcist, and now he's going beyond the limits, The Guardian. And I was oh my God, this is going to be the scariest fucking movie ever. And I was afraid to see it. And then I didn't see it for years later. And I was oh, that's what that's about. Interesting. And
The Guardian's it's a pretty bad title. It doesn't really evoke any kind of, it definitely doesn't evoke any kind of anything horrific or sinister or, The Exorcist, you're just kind of what the fuck is that? That sounds fucking horrifying. The Guardian, it sounds like it would be a kid's movie. It sounds like something like My Bodyguard or something.
Well, no, they both have the sound, the word guard in them. But obviously the title refers to the fact that it's, a babysitter and it's
even that, even if it was called The Babysitter, I think it would have been more it would have given you a better idea of, because the Guardian doesn't give you any information about what this movie is about. And even when you really think about it, it still doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not a good title.
I think you're being.
It's based on a book called The Nanny.
I know. I think you're being a bit obtuse, because Guardian, is, a nanny is a parental substitute, and also she's the guardian of this tree. I can clearly see where they're coming from with the title.
If this was called The Killer Babysitter, I think they would have gotten more asses in the seats.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's why Blood-Sucking Freaks was retitled Blood-Sucking Freaks instead of Sardu and his traveling show
Ralphus.
Sardu and Ralphus and their
I wish
misadventures.
That was a series. Sardu and Ralphus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jake and the Fat Man.
Jake and the Fat Man. Fucking Turner and Hooch. Yeah. So the nanny. I'm looking at the just a little break, what do you call it? A Wikipedia thing right now about the production, and I'd heard this before, and what do you call it? Friedkin famously didn't talk about this movie at all, for a long time. And then he did. And mostly what I saw, the clips that I saw, were him talking about kind of how they changed the story, right? Because I guess The Nanny is just about a nanny who steals children. I don't even know that there's anything supernatural about it.
Yeah, that's the sense I got from reading that. And also, I think the tree was Friedkin's idea. Like, actually, first, like, I think Friedkin wanted to do something that wasn't supernatural at all. But the studio was like, we want something supernatural. And so he went back and he added the tree. The original screenwriter, in the Wikipedia, they said he had a nervous breakdown during the writing process of this movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it sounded like Friedkin. That was Friedkin's idea to add, and it's interesting too because the tree is such a huge element of the story.
That's right. Yeah,
and I even was kind of like, at first I thought this whole idea of like a scary tree, it sounded kind of retarded, but then I actually wound up thinking it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like okay, so let's talk about the movie. I'm happy you liked it. I mean, I liked this.
I did. I think I started off thinking like this looks dumb.
Yeah.
But then as it kept going, I kind of got more into it.
Right. We have this couple, Molly and Alan, who what do you call? Oh no, so that Molly and Alan are the other people. Our main characters are Phil and Kate Sterling.
Well, we first see like a couple with two children, and they have this sort of shadowy nanny. The husband and wife are going on some weekend trip, and they're leaving their kids in the care of some nanny.
Yeah,
and as they're driving away, the wife is like, "Oh, I forgot my glasses," and they go back, and when they get into the house, it's revealed that the nanny has stolen the baby.
Not just that, but sort of magically sacrificed, and the baby disappears out of her hands and then gets incorporated into this tree as sort of like a screaming baby. So like right off the bat, we know kind of there's something supernatural going on.
Right.
And it all revolves around this tree. And she says like weird stuff like, the cycle is complete, begin another, And so there's lots of little weird kind of mysteries given just through sort of cryptic dialogue. And at the end of the day, it's like there's this little, what do you call it? Prologue. Our real main characters are Phil and Kate Sterling that have come from
we cut
Chicago.
3 years after that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut to this new couple. I don't think I knew anyone in this whole movie, except for Brad Hall.
Brad Hall?
He plays the architect.
Oh, really?
Who lives next door.
But you know Miguel Ferrer, the guy who's
from RoboCop.
From RoboCop, yeah.
David Lynch. He's in it for like 10 seconds. Like he's barely in it.
Yeah, he's like at the dinner scene, and I guess he's like the guy's boss or something.
He barely makes any impact. Whereas Brad Hall is a pivotal role.
Yeah, playing Ned Runcie, the
architect of the house,
famous house architect. That's so funny that's like it seems bizarre or not bizarre, but just like unnecessary that's kind of like what he made their house,
right.
It's a Ned Runcie house, he's this idea of a celebrity architect who makes just like kind of mid-level homes or upper mid-level homes in California.
And he lives right next door.
And also like there's an earthquake early in the movie that I thought was going to pay off in some way later, Like I think we just had a 5.2 or something. And then I thought that would factor into something like the idea of maybe, that factors supernaturally into something, but it didn't at all.
Right.
Anyways, But anyways, yeah, they have a baby, and we, you know, when they first moved to California, they don't have a baby, and then we see them, you know, go through the whole thing of having the baby, and then they need a nanny.
The wife has like one of those 90s female bowl cuts, which is really like whenever you're watching a movie and an actress has that haircut, it's such a downer, man. It's such a disappointment.
I guess so. I don't really care. I don't really care that much about haircuts. I'm not a gay man.
It's like you want the main actress to be somewhat attractive, and when they make a choice of having like a Mo Howard haircut, it's distracting.
A Chinese guy haircut.
It's upsetting. Yeah, it's sort of like, who told you to get that?
Yeah,
who said that was good?
Mr. Who?
Doctor Who?
Who's on first? HU.
It was just, it's like, I just find that, but it was like somewhat like it's like the single white female Bridget Fonda bowl cut. It's upsetting.
Demi Moore and Ghost.
Yeah, that too. Like that wave of like whoever like pioneered that haircut. Shame on you. Okay,
so Johnny Ryan is a, you know,
we're letting it all out now.
Yeah,
like we might have to censor that, but I don't want to upset anyone.
We're starting. Well, we're starting to get a little bit of
those women out there with bowl. We're going to alienate all our bowl cutted female.
We're starting to understand the pain of a, you know, Johnny Ryan aspiring hairdresser. The differences he could have made to the hair in the 90s.
Right? Yeah. All you guys who agree with me, shout out, sound off in the comments below.
This was actually an Alan Smithy or Alan Von Smithy film.
Yeah, he took his name off of it
just for a cable release.
Oh, for the TV one because they ended it fucked up.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe he took his name off of it because, like, you know, he's okay. Well, who knows? Maybe he was okay with like the release, the theatrical release, but then when they edited out the violence, he was just like, "I'll take my name off it." There's nothing interesting to see. But that's just my speculation.
Maybe the violence is, I think, what really puts it over the top.
Yeah.
You know, if you take that out, you've got almost nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing. I even like the violence of that nanny who they hire, the black woman who wants to be a phys ed teacher, and she ends up like tripping on her bicycle or something and then falling.
Yeah, she has a bike accident and she like falls down a hill or something.
Yeah, and I found that to be kind of slightly more violent than it had to be, and therefore funny. And I always wondered too, like, do you think that is it implied? I can't even tell if it's implied that Camilla, the evil supernatural nanny, had something to do with that.
That's what I assumed, like in the same way that like Rosemary's Baby, you know, they kind of the evil presence kind of makes sure that the path is clear for the evil to happen. Yeah. So like when John Cassavetes, you know, he's able to get that big part in the play because he's the understudy. He's originally the understudy, but then he goes blind.
Yeah, well, that's a little different because that's the, you know, after, like, that's kind of like, it's not just sort of an aside. It's not just something that like helps the plot happen, like this evil force.
Like in Rosemary's Baby, like she's going to a real doctor, and then they kind of like, oh no, you got to go to Dr. Saperstein. He's the guy you want to go to, and then so she stops going to her doctor to go, and then there's like some friend of hers who is kind of catching on to what's going on and wants to warn her, and then he gets killed. So like, people who in Rosemary's Baby who try to like interrupt the process or try to warn her all get killed. So in the same way, I was sort of assuming that was the same thing, like, because they were about to hire her, then she like has this accident, conveniently. I just immediately went to like, oh yeah, it must be the supernatural powers. Like she had this lady killed.
Right. So then, Camilla shows up, played by Jenny Seagrove, who I don't recognize from anything. It feels like she's like some kind of soap opera type fucking actress.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her from anything.
I'm looking at her resume, and I'm just like, I don't really know anything. But anyways, whatever. She's just this lady, and she's British. And
just hire some lady off the street.
Yeah.
I think that, like, the Wikipedia was saying they were going to hire, like, Uma Thurman, so they went from Uma Thurman to Jenny Seagrove.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you have to take a step down.
This is their big break.
Yep. The Guardian. I get to finally work with William Friedkin. Also, funny thing too, like The Guardian, you have a problem with the title. William Friedkin remade The Wages of Fear, and he called it Sorcerer. And you make The Exorcist, and then your next movie after that is called Sorcerer, and then it doesn't have any very clear connection to like the content of the film.
Sorcery in it.
There's zero sorcery. It's just like, that really has to be, you really have to kind of pay attention to sort of the context. Like the fact that you just did the Exorcist, and you're kind of known for making a horror film. Of course, William Friedkin did, The French Connection, and got a lot of accolades and props because of that. But yeah, like, I think that a lot of people agree that that's the title of that film was one of the reasons why it really didn't connect with anybody at the time. Not to mention the fact that Star Wars,
came out the same weekend.
Exactly. Another thing that's like, it was like Universal and Paramount like worked. That was like a rare co-production. Like two studios like worked together on that film, and that's one of the reasons why like it took so long for the thing to like have any kind of like physical release later on, or even be available to show on cable or on you know what I mean? Like Sorcerer wasn't a movie that you'd see on TV very often. I
don't remember seeing, like, I don't even remember hearing anything about it until, like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's because of that. It was kind of just like lockdown. Neither studio wanted to budge, and then
it was like it was just like disappeared.
Right.
And so there was like, it wasn't playing on TV. There was no mention of it. Yeah, they just sort of it just disappeared, and it's not until fairly recently that it's been sort of reassessed and brought back.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. I really like that film a lot.
Did you ever see Wages of Fear?
Yeah, of course. But only after seeing Sorcerer.
Okay. See, I saw the Wages of Fear first.
Right.
Yeah, they're both good. I think I'd give an edge to Wages of Fear, but they're both good.
Yeah, no, so just like the pure sort of cinematic qualities of Sorcerer, like just how just like just the way it's shot and just how gorgeous it looks, and just like this environment and the way that it captures sort of like the flavor of this South American like revolution, like just all this stuff that's kind of not present, that I don't feel like is as present in Wages of Fear. I just feel Sorcerer just feels so much more alive and real to me. But anyways, back to The Guardian. So shortly after, we get the best scene in the movie, where Camilla, the Guardian, has taken the baby out to chill in a field for a little while, and these three, like, I don't know who fucking came up with these characters, but they're like three, like, drunk...
Three middle-aged juvenile delinquents.
Yeah, exactly. They're three, 42-year-old sort of school bullies wearing leather jackets, and they're drunk, and they're just hanging out in the middle of the day.
And they're horny too.
They're so horny, and
they're horny for nannies.
They're horny for nannies. Maybe even
that's what the movie should have been called.
Maybe even for the baby. Maybe they want to fuck the baby too.
Oh yeah, maybe that's it.
Look in the Wikipedia. One afternoon, while Camilla rests in a meadow with Jake, she's approached by three aggressive bikers, and then in parentheses it says outlaw motorcycle club, who attempt to sexually assault her. Okay, so she ends up like running away, and she gets to the tree, and she manages to sort of hide the baby somewhere, and then the bikers catch up to her, and they pull out a knife, and they're about to like, the funniest thing in the world. She's like, don't touch me, I'm warning you. And then the guy's like, he pulls out this big knife, this big buck knife, and he holds it, and he's like, you warning me? I warn you. And then he's like, come on, don't worry, just like give me some or whatever. And then there's a guy in the background, and he goes, cut the bitch! Like he's getting so excited, and he yells out, cut the bitch! Like it's just funny. Like again, just who the fuck are these guys, and what the hell are they doing? Who are these people? It's just like some like lunatic's idea about just sort of these like the kind of crazy people that are out there.
They're just walking around the Pacific Palisades looking for victims.
Yeah, just to do horrible things for no reason. And this is before Mexican crystal meth. But anyways, he eventually cuts her in the abdomen, and she bleeds a lot. And then the tree kind of like looms over the guy, and then it attacks the three guys in all sorts of fantastic ways, mostly like resulting in or mostly manifesting in like a big ass like long branch kind of like wrapping itself around the neck of a guy, right. And then a root comes out of the ground and like impales the guy.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then the other one is sort of the tree kind of closes its jaws on a guy and crushes him. That's what happens to like the main guy. But it's really great. I like how fast and brutal the tree is. It's pretty sweet. Anything else you want to talk about regarding the Outlaw Motorcycle Club?
No, I mean it's good. I think up until that point, I was feeling like I wasn't holding out much hope. I was feeling like, okay, I don't think this movie's gonna get good anytime soon. And then once, thank God for those guys, because they really their purpose was served. They you can make fun of them all day, but once they come in and they threaten her, and then it forces the tree to attack, that was really cool.
You can make fun of them all day. I still think they're great. Okay, fine, dude.
You can mock them all you want.
You can mock them all you want,
but their purpose paid off.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Would the movie have been better if they had been realistic threats as opposed to
like Jehovah's Witnesses or something?
Or I don't know,
or if like they had been black
or Mexican. If they had been
if they had been Mexican gardeners, that would have been more realistic.
Yeah, or just like sure, or just like undocumented migrants.
Yeah, illegal aliens from Somalia.
If it had been three Somali pirates, then I think that the film would be a lot better.
And that would have been a lot more satisfying when they get ripped apart.
Oh, Johnny's politics bubbling through the surface.
We're just talking.
We're just hanging out.
We're just riffing. Down. Sound off in the comments, though.
Let's get some controversy going. Our podcast is just so controversial. You know, the whole production of Cruising was you know, fucking terrorized by people who were, you know, saying that it promotes a negative stereotype for gay people or whatever, and you know, oh, you can't show gay people as being violent or dangerous because they're already, you know, put upon enough, etc.
Right. Being demonized.
You're right. That's right. And I was just thinking, like, there's got to, like, you know, there's got to be.
Now they accept the movie. Like the film has been like fully embraced.
Yeah. Well, you know,
because it might be. I mean, I can't say for sure, but it might be the only movie that truly captures that specific gay culture from that specific period of time.
Right. Okay. Well,
the whole like Tom of Finland, gay bars,
trade,
the rough trade, and the bandanas and the leather and the Tom of Finland, you know, look, you know. Now it's like, oh, this is like a historic document.
Oh, that's the value. That's the greatest value of the film.
So, so my message to gays is sort of like, don't hate shit, because you might, you know, 10, 20 years from now, you might actually like it.
This is Johnny Ryan's message to gays.
Yeah, you were wrong then. You might be wrong now.
Mm-hmm. Call on all gays.
What else are you wrong about? Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, like, you know, the shit kind of plays out the same way as like the nanny and The Omen, you know, where they eventually find out that you know, she's a problem, and also like she does stuff. She's like doing shit that like going against their wishes and stuff. Like, you know, oh, he's okay. You know, oh, he feels like he's got a fever. Oh no, he's okay. I don't have to take him to the doctors. I told you to take him to a fucking doctor. What's the matter with you?
That's very much like The Omen. And also the husband is having like dreams about fucking her.
Yeah.
When he goes to check on the baby, he walks by the bathroom and she's like, she's got the door open and she's nude in the bathtub with the baby. Right. So she's kind of creating a very sexually tense environment. Brad Hall, the architect neighbor, starts to have feelings for her and wants to go on a date with her. At some point, he's following her to give her some flowers, and that's when he sees her. He finds out her secret, where she's going to visit this the murder tree, and he sees like some crazy shit that she's doing with the tree, and then he's like, "Holy shit!" And then she sees that he's spying on her. And so he's like running for his life. He runs back home. He leaves a message for the couple, telling them like, you got to get rid of this. This nanny's scary. You got to get rid of her. And then right after he leaves the call, the voicemail or the whatever answering machine message. Mm-hmm. She sends a pack of wolves to like break into his house and eat him alive.
Yep.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty brief, but it's cool. Like when the two wolves kind of come on either side of his face and blood sprays out and stuff. Again, like, you know, a little bit of attention to detail given to the violence of the film, which is you know, very much welcomed. So yeah, so that all happens, and then eventually like they try to like you know, get rid of her. I think they call the police or whatever, or you know, like they get rid of her. She disappears, and then they go back to the house, and you don't think everything's over, but they think everything's over. And then sure enough, she shows up, and she's like a weird monster now. Like she's got like pieces of tree bark all over her, and she's painted. And she kind of looks a little bit.
She's like half human, half tree.
She kind of looks like the fucking snake cultist from Lair of the White Worm, but but not really.
But when she's at the house trying to get that baby, Dad's in the woods trying to chop down that tree with a chainsaw.
Yeah, and that part's cool too, because when the tree is penetrated by the chainsaw, it squirts out what I can only believe to be baby blood, or maybe it's the tree's blood, but I like to think it's the baby blood because it's a tree.
Right.
And it's really cool. It's really funny and cool and kind of awesome because he's just screaming and cutting with this chainsaw. Like he's just going like, oh, and just fucking up this tree and blood splashing everywhere, and it's pretty amazing.
I think it's whenever you're hacking or cutting at something or hitting something, whether it's like a car or a
Mm-hmm.
tree or a wall of a house, if blood squirts out, it always works.
It doesn't take much. All it takes is just some fucking PA off to the side, just like squirting some shit or a grip or whatever the fuck it is. And then the violence inflicted upon the tree sort of is transposed onto the nanny, onto the guardian, and then her leg, like she's getting wounded as the tree's getting wounded, and then her leg blasts off, and then she falls out the window, and then I guess explodes, and then the movie ends with the two, husband and wife, and the baby just standing, kind of looking out, just being like, what other mysteries does this world hold for us? Anyways, so that's The Guardian. I like The Guardian. I think it's definitely worth watching. It's also kind of the only movie that's sort of about this, whatever this is. Like I've never seen, and it's not something they just made up. Like druid tree worship is real, and these sort of tree cultists or tree, I don't know, like almost like a nymph or something, like some kind of magical being, like I think they're called dryads or something. Like those are real. So it's like it's from mythology, but no one's really pulled from that to do it like in film. I mean, I think that maybe there must be some fucking Xena Warrior Princess episode where there's some shit like that, and maybe they appear in some kind of video game. But so I think it's cool, and like we've already stated, there are like a couple moments, like two really good moments of violence, and then like one sort of okay one, which is the wolf one. But like I think the tree and then the biker gang is the biker gang thing is the highlight.
Yeah, and I mean I even like when all the scenes when the husband starts to catch on that the nanny's up to something, and all the moments when he's like confronting her and she's like trying to argue her way out of it, and it's very reminiscent of The Omen, as you mentioned before, but I still liked it.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, there's a little bit of like, like it seems all like a lot of work for not a lot, because we already know right from the beginning that number one, she is the nanny, and number two, like right from the get-go, we know something supernatural is going on. So it's kind of like going through all of these motions is just kind of like, all right.
And that was the other thing that sort of, we mentioned at the beginning, the first family. And that was another thing that sort of like tips off the husband, is that the mother from the previous family somehow contacts him to tell him,
don't leave her alone with your child.
This woman that you have as your nanny, she was our nanny and she stole our baby.
Right. There's also last final thing to say about the Guardian is it's the first time, like they're talking about like a baby's cells changing, which is the first like sort of acknowledgement of stem cell technology in a film. Mm-hmm. So like, it's the
Exciting.
it's the first time that we've heard reference to baby cells being useful in medicinal practices.
So it's the first mention of adrenochrome in cinema.
Yeah, not adrenal. That's something different.
Okay.
That's something different. Yeah, I mean,
this movie's not like fucking spectacular, but I do feel like it's probably got a bad rap. It's a decent film. You could do worse.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering the crap that's coming out these days.
Right,
but
I'll say. But I'd give it 3 eggplants.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. That like I want to give it lower, but then I think about it and I'm just like, how can I? I enjoy this movie and I've seen it a lot of times too. On to Cruising, the film where Al Pacino goes undercover and has gay sex to catch a killer of gays. The film opens up in the harbor in New York City, and they find like a hand or something, like an arm. And then it's like, oh shit, what's going on? And then there's sort of the what do you call it? They get like,
they find a gay arm.
They find this guy arm. They identify it. They use technology to identify it as being gay. They also note that there's like do they note, like, because the steak knives from that restaurant kind of play like a part in this movie. Like it's just those like wooden, those wooden knives you get at like a steak restaurant, like with a thick wooden handle and that fucking serrated blade. Anyways, then we go to fucking, remember before last time when we were talking about fucking Maniac, I said, not Maniac, but was it Vigilante? Yeah, Vigilante.
It was both. Joe Spinell.
Yeah. But the point is that like I thought that in Vigilante there was a part where Joe Spinell plays a fucking like a cop that likes to fuck with gay guys and make them suck his dick. And then I was like, oh, is it not Joe Spinell? It must be Danny Aiello. And sure enough, that's his partner. Is it not? Who's his partner? It's that guy.
I don't know what his name is, but he plays the gas man in Dumb and Dumber. I don't know what.
That's right.
I don't know what his actual name is.
I guess I always confuse that guy for Danny Aiello.
He has a Danny Aiello look.
Right.
It's not Danny Aiello. Danny Aiello.
Danny Aiello.
That's a hard name to say. Danny Aiello.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, those two guys are the cops, and we see like them.
And they grab two guys who are dressed in kind of leather, like Tom of Finland-esque drag. One of them is Gene Davis, who is
a real piece of ass.
He's from
Gene Davis.
He's the villain in 10 to Midnight.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorites. He usually plays like a real sleazy shitbag.
Uh-huh.
And I think he's also the brother of the guy from Midnight Express.
Jim Davis, the guy who created Garfield.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, anybody with the last name Davis, he's related to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Joe Spinell, man, he whenever he's in a movie, he lights up the screen. I big fan of Joe Spinell. I
like that part where like Al Pacino's in the gay club and all those fucking gay guys are like eyeballing him, and then Joe Spinell's one of them. It's like, oh, he's right. Like he's a fucking. Also, what's really funny about this movie is that just the way that these guys, I'm jumping the gun, but the way that these guys interact, like how they just kind of scowl at each other. And they're just kind of like they're, I want to, you want to fuck, huh? Do you want? And then when they get into the sort of the conversation, they're just like sort of saying all these like slang terms and stuff, and I'm just like, damn, is this real? Because if this is real, then I wish that I had been born in earlier.
I wish I was gay.
Yeah, so I could participate.
Lived in New York in 1979.
So I could participate in this rich subculture. But yeah, so anyhow, like those two fucking transvestites, they tip off. Is it Sorvino? Who's the
Paul Sorvino plays the captain of the police department.
Yeah, he figures out that there's some fucking serial killer going around killing gays, and and then he brings in Al Pacino, and he's just like, "Let me ask you a question. You ever suck a cock? You ever let a man suck your cock?" And Al Pacino's like, "A man? No. Well," and he does this thing where he kind of like goes, and then Paul Sorvino goes like, "You ever get porked? You ever let a man smoke your pole?" And then Al Pacino just busts into like nervous laughter, and he's like, I think you got the wrong guy. You got to be joking. I think, and he's all fucking,
Yeah, he's like, no, that never happened. I never did that.
Yeah, he gets all fucking.
But I also like how
nervous and bashful.
He's also saying, Paul Sorvino's also saying like, because when Al Pacino comes in, he's kind of like, well, what do you want me for? They told me to come up here. You want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a job for you. We think you're perfect for it. Mm-hmm. And he's basically, are you gay? And he's like, no. And, well, we want you to go undercover as a homosexual to, go to these clubs. And I don't even think he hesitates for a moment. Like, there's not even a moment where he's like, well, I need to go and think about this for a while. I don't know if I could do this. Like, he's just like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Well, I mean, it's a chance for him. Like, I think that what's implied, first of all, like, I mean, Al Pacino's gay. Second of all,
but we don't know. Like, it's not like he comes into the room and like, hello. Like, he's not that type of gay. And I think we're also led to believe that like his homosexuality is that, and that's one of the things about this movie. Like, there's so much that is left
ambiguous,
very ambiguous. Everything is left up to speculation. There's a lot that's just kind of left open-ended. So even Al's homosexuality is up for debate.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he never says he's gay. He's in a relationship with a woman. I'm not saying that is definitive one way or the other, but he's in a relationship with Karen Allen. Mm-hmm. But he's going undercover as a very specific homosexual, like a homosexual that is into like real rough stuff.
Yeah.
And and again, I think this is one of the flaws of the movie is like, you never see him do anything gay. You never see him kiss a man. You never see him there's no actual gay interaction other than like he'll dance with men, maybe some guy will grab his peck and squeeze it.
He'll do poppers. He'll do poppers with gays.
He'll do some poppers. He's definitely like, he doesn't have a problem like getting all dressed up and going to the bars and hanging out, but you never see him do anything, and you never see him like that door opening up and him even sort of taking that journey to become like fully gay.
Yeah.
And that, that to me is the biggest flaw. I wish there was something that like gave us like some information of him, like, because that becomes like part of the story of him like being confused, and he's in the relationship with Karen Allen, and he's they're making love in bed, and he's just got this like far away stare, like he's thinking of fucking sucking a dick.
Yeah, just like I wish this pussy was a man's ass.
Like he seems like he's going through a lot. There's a lot of confusion there, and I do wish that there was just like a little bit, even just the smallest amount of seeing that, him going from being in denial to somewhat accepting it, or
Yeah.
is it as much as he seems to accept it?
I don't know. I mean, is that what you'd want, like, for the movie to be very, like, cut and dry? And
No, just I need something. Like, I feel like the movie's so ambiguous that it becomes confusing. Because not only are we left up to interpret his sexuality, we're given zero clarity on who the killer really is, or killers. So there's so much about the movie that is left up to the audience. It just feels like too much. There's too much left up to the audience, and I feel like he needed to give us a little bit more, because and these criticisms that I have, I think the movie's great. I fully enjoy the movie. I'm not shitting on the movie. I just wish, I feel like if he had just done these things, this movie could have been perfect.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, but I think that the movie's too ambiguous. However, I don't think that the way to repair it is to sort of go make this a movie about Al Pacino discovering that he's gay. And I know maybe that's not what you're saying, but
because it's sort of because then it puts into the question, he's going undercover as a gay man. And I watched this movie several years ago, and I don't even think this issue popped into my head when I first saw it for whatever reason.
What issue?
But the issue of his homosexuality.
Oh, I see.
I fully believe that he was a straight man going undercover. Mm-hmm. And so watching it the second time, sort of oh, wait a minute, how's he going to trick these gays into thinking he's gay if he doesn't do something gay? Mm-hmm. And so we're sort of left. We're kind of left to because we don't see him confronting that, and I feel like that's a huge thing. He's living a straight life on the surface, at least on the surface. Mm-hmm. And so now he's going undercover, and he has to keep his cover. How's he going to do that? Is he active? Is he actually doing these things? How far is he going? It just all these questions popped into my head, and it also has an impact on, I feel the ending too. So I feel a little bit more insight into Al Pacino's brain and his thinking, or his character's brain, would have been helpful, would have been informative.
Sure. The way that I would, the film is the way it is. It's there's not enough to kind of get across a point. It's just kind of gives you a bunch of stuff, and you have to kind of just take that as you will. But it doesn't really give you that much. It's all they just kind of show you kind of a lot, a lot of different things. There's a lot of guys in parks, strutting around. They don't sit on the bench. They sit on the backrest of the bench. And then they say, how big are you? Potty size. Hips and lips, and they say all these weird things together. And then they're getting ready to have sex. That guy, that student, that guy who plays the piano, who's majoring in musical theater and lifts weights. And Al Pacino sneaks into his apartment. He finally gets together with that guy, and him and Al Pacino are getting ready to have gay sex. They're just basically standing in front of each other, scowling at each other. And then,
but it's more than that too, because that moment is, he knows this guy, the musical theater major, knows, or at least suspects, Al Pacino has been in his apartment. Mm-hmm. Al Pacino's following him around. He broke into his apartment, gone through his letters that he wrote to his father. So it seems like it's more than just like, are they going to have gay sex or are they going to fight? Like, is he going to be like, I know you've been in my fucking apartment, I'm going to fucking rip your head off. So it feels like there's, you're not really sure what's going to happen. Are they going to fuck or are they going to fight?
Yeah. What if I were going to play like Monday morning quarterback on like in terms of the writing, what I think would have been an interesting thing is like, we reveal, I guess, who the killer is, and I'm under the impression that like he's a killer because he hates himself because of his father or something. Like his father's on the bench,
right?
And he says he gives the old Eric the Midget line of "You know what to do."
Right. That's what I thought of when I heard that.
Yeah, and then but what I think would have been really cool is if the killer, we find out who the killer is, but then like what happens is that Al Pacino kind of like is kind of figures out who he is, but then because he's getting involved with like his neighbor, remember that he's got that weird neighbor, and then he's also got that boyfriend who moves in. I think that what might have been a cool
Ajax,
right? What might have been really cool is if Al Pacino like started like falling in love with that neighbor or something, and then in a heat of passion ends up murdering that neighbor, and then framing the neighbor for being like pinning all of the fucking murders on him. And then it's kind of like, hey, we caught the gay killer. And then, but really what he did is he killed this guy because he realized that he was gay. So he killed him.
Well, I happened to be reading the Reddit about cruising, and that was something that was mentioned.
Oh, really? Fuck.
Because we don't know who killed his redheaded neighbor. That's not revealed, but when Paul Sorvino's like investigating the murder, and Joe Spinell's like, oh, there was a guy that lived down the hall, and he says his name, and then Paul Sorvino's like, oh, that's Al Pacino's alias, like he was living down the hall, and then there's that whole sequence where he knocks on the door, and James Remar answers the door, and he's like, fuck off, he's mine.
Yeah.
And then I actually think this is a great scene when like Pacino goes back into his apartment, and then James Remar kind of like peeks out the door to see if Pacino's gone, and Pacino just kicks the door in and like punches the shit out of the fucking James Remar. So like clearly there's like some emotion there, like he really wants to see this guy, and he's mad that his boyfriend came. So the Redditors were sort of saying that like, maybe he had feelings for this guy and killed him.
Sure.
But actually, I also wanted to bring up other things that were said on the Reddit, that there's multiple killers. Like the killer that we see at the beginning who hogties the dude and stabs him in the back is different from the theater student. It's not the same guy.
Right. That's something that's like in plain sight.
But there's other murders, like the guy in the Peep Show booth, and like some of the Redditors were saying like the guy that walks into in the Tom of Finland leather that walks into the Peep Show is different from the guy playing the guy playing the killer in the Peep Show booth. Like all the different moments where somebody's doing the killing is played by somebody different. And even though some of them are singing the same little nursery rhyme, I'm here, you're here.
Yep, the classic nursery rhyme. I'm here.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then so there's the killer at the beginning. There's the theater major killer, and then there's Al Pacino. So there's like Friedkin is actively making the killer, like who is the killer, is making it very ambiguous and sort of just impossible to figure out.
Yeah, and that, I guess maybe that's that choice of making all the killers different lets me know that there's an intention here that is there's an intention to sort of how wishy-washy.
I think the first time I
is.
watched it, I didn't that confused the fuck out of me, because I was just kind of like, wait a minute, that like, is this guy the same as the guy in the beginning? They don't look this. I mean, I guess maybe it is. Mm-hmm. And now rewatching it and then reading about it and realizing like, okay, this is intentional to keep it completely ambiguous who this killer is, and that this type of murder is just indicative of this subculture. I think I definitely appreciated it more, but I can see somebody going into this and being fucking confused as fuck.
Right. I think that, like, also, I mean, the way it ends is kind of what my sort of theoretical script doctor bullshit that I said. Like, it's the same thing where it's like, okay, you attacked a cop, so now, so he attacked you, and that we're just basically going to say, you'll only have to serve 8 years, and then as long as you take responsibility for like all of these gay murders. They're just gay guys, so who cares? Like we only have to give you, we'll give you a slap on the wrist, 8 years for those 8 murders, but you have to say you did it. And then we solved the case, and then whatever, but like it's the idea, like as you said before, like, this kind of murder, and danger that exists within sort of the heavy leather, rough trade gay sex world, is just part of the culture within the world right. of this movie, and the cops have to do something. The cops have to do something about it, because it's a bad look just to sort of allow a serial killer to run rampant.
Do you think that Pacino was like, okay, I'll be in this fucking gay movie, but I ain't doing anything gay, so don't make me kiss anyone, don't make me, hug nude hugging or whatever, like any kind of gay shit, leave me out of it.
No nude hugging. I think that there's probably like a cut scene of the movie where he actually has full gay sex,
anal penetration.
Yeah, where he gets anally penetrated by that guy who puts Crisco all over his hand and puts his hand up his ass.
I do like when they do the cut, like the quick cut between like the stabbing and the real fast dick ramming into the ass.
Yeah, I know you like that.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't know if you noticed, but the scene when they're being Pacino and the other guy are being interrogated, and they bring that big giant black guy with the jock strap and the cowboy hat.
That was a real thing that they did.
I was going to say that black guy is the same black guy from Vigilante who comes into the shower and beats the shit out of Robert Forster.
A little Vigilante.
But it's just kind of it's funny. Like he's literally doing the same exact thing in both movies. Like that's his role. Yeah, big black rapist. But and I also like when Pacino comes out of the room and he's like says like, you don't have to hit me so hard, and he takes his hat off and throws it out the window.
that is a good move. That is a good move. Yeah, he didn't have to hit me, and then he throws his hat out the window. That's fucking sweet. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, the movie ends with Al Pacino. I think a lot has been said and discussed about the ending, where Lily, not Lily Allen, Karen Allen.
Lily Allen.
Yeah, who's Lily Allen?
Is she like a singer?
I don't know. But Karen Allen puts on his leather daddy like aviators and hat.
Yeah. Again, to go to the Reddit, people are saying that that's not his leather hat and jacket. It belongs to one of the, like, it belongs to the killer.
Yeah, it's what the first killer anyhow was wearing. But like there's that part of it.
So again, like implying that like he's taking on the mantle of the new gay killer. Right.
And then there's also sort of the Al Pacino like looking at himself in the mirror while he's shaving, and then sort of, I don't know, discovering something, and then looking into the camera.
He's like looking in the mirror, and then he looks at the camera and he's like, "Aren't you gay too?"
Yeah. Hey, guess what? You're gay.
You're gay.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story. You're gay.
Yeah. It turns. You know what? I used to. This always makes me laugh. Maybe you won't think this is that funny, but I used to teach this little kid. I used to tutor a little kid, this little girl, and she told me that in her school she had a teacher that gave her and her classmates a bunch of shit because they were saying like they were saying gay, like they were like, oh, you're fucking gay or whatever, like. Yeah. And these kids were very little, like they were like probably 10 or 11 or something, and then I think from what I understood, he just goes like everyone sit down and listen to me. Now, like there's somebody in your family is probably gay. Like statistically, someone in your family is gay. So that means that, when you are being insensitive like this, you're being sensitive, you're being shitty to like people in your own family, people who are close to you, try to be more mindful of that. But then the kids are kind of like listening, and then later when they're out of class, they start just being like, they start just coming up with their own version of what that teacher said to them. And then when the little girl came to me, she was like, she was telling me, she was like, so like we were saying gay, and then the guy sits us down and he starts saying, your mother is gay, your father is gay too, and your entire family is gay. So like that's how they took it. And I was laughing so hard just to imagine like a teacher just sitting down and saying that to the class. But like that's, it's pretty funny how this movie at the end basically is like, and you're gay too, all this stuff that you saw in this movie, you like doing that. You're just like one of those guys who eyeballs me at the brambles, whatever it's called. The rambles where fucking rambles. George Takei liked to go and get and rape men. I did like all those scenes in the rambles because it just seems so like creepy. There's something so. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of fucking weird dudes. Like just imagine like you just take a wrong turn and you're walking through Central Park and you just wind up there and you'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, everybody's just all these guys are just in the bushes, just all these guys butt fucking like each other. Nazis fucking blowing each other. You'd be like, fucking, what the hell? Like you just fucking entered a level of hell. Yeah. I mean, like, just to sort of say what you've already said, like, back when we were still talking about The Guardian, like the greatest value I think of this movie is just how it does serve as a time capsule of sort. Like, absolutely. Pre-AIDS New York City leather gay club shit. Like this is it. I mean, in the comments, tell me another movie that like has, this kind of footage and this kind of authentic kind of coverage of this kind of shit. Of this culture, in this specific culture, in this specific period of time. I mean, I'm not gay, so I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some gay people that know some secret films that I don't know about, but I don't think you're going to find one that is. You're not going to find one like this. That's like beautifully shot. Looks great.
It's great.
Cruising.
I also want to say like that the scene we mentioned where the big naked 7 foot tall black guy comes in and starts slapping. I even liked it when like he slaps those guys and he'll just punch him and slap him and then walk out of the room and then they're like, who is that guy?
Yeah. That's real that they did that.
But I feel like the first time I saw that, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on in this movie? Like, this is like ridiculous. And it wasn't until later finding out like, oh, this is a tactic that police used to do a lot, where they'd be in an interrogation room and they'd be, doing some maybe illegal maneuvers to get the guy to confess or whatever, and then they would create some scenario that was so bizarre so that if the perp complained and said like, yeah, the cops were roughing me up, and then all of a sudden this giant naked black guy in a cowboy hat and a jockstrap came in and punched me in the face and then walked out of the room. So then this person would sound crazy and no one would believe what they said.
It's true.
And so it wasn't until much later that I heard like, oh, that's an actual tactic that they would use at the time. Maybe they still do. I don't know. But watching it and not knowing that, you're just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? This is just completely strange.
Yeah. That is true. Like
Friedkin's lost his mind.
Right. Exactly. It's almost like that needs. It's almost like it needs an explanation. Like someone needs.
But I feel like that's almost indicative of the whole movie. Like there's all these moments that are happening that just like need a little bit more information. That I think that just a little bit more information might assist the film.
Yeah.
In every area.
Yeah. Like when you're, who's the guy who invented, like who conceived and put together The Wire? Do you remember that guy's name? David Chase?
Chase? No, that's
David
Sopranos.
David Simon.
You're right.
Yeah. Or wait. Yeah, David Simon. He would has said that like what he does when he writes police stuff is that he doesn't ever write for the layman. He just uses like the terminology and he has police talk the way they talk and he has them do the stuff they do and he doesn't really slow down and hold the hand of the audience.
No, I get that.
I mean, I know you do. I'm just saying that like that's a tricky road to navigate.
But I mean, like there's still like when you do something this bizarre, it still, I feel like it needs explanation. Like if you're just like, thrust into a police situation and the police are talking like police and they're just doing things like police. There's like, even if you don't understand what they're saying or what exactly their, what the procedure they're following is, you still kind of can follow the reality of the experience of what's going on. Whereas here it was such a bizarre moment that it didn't even seem real. It seemed like this is this seems fantastical. This can't be real. Mm-hmm. And if I had never heard that piece of information that this actually happens, I would still be thinking like, that bizarre scene that just comes out of left field in the middle of cruising that doesn't make any sense. Like it just seems like they just gave up and just threw all reality to the wind, and they were just like, "Hey, what would be funny? Let's just have a big fucking black guy nude come in and slap everybody. Wouldn't that be funny?" This movie's getting a little boring.
Well, right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like writing characters to talk as if they would talk in real life is a good rule of thumb. But this movie, in a very like kind of bold and obvious way, kind of shows a moment where you have to, like where sort of hand-holding is necessary. Like this is a good example to cite where it's like, well, here's where you have to kind of maybe give extend your hand a little bit to an audience. You can't just kind of expect them to to understand, because again, like, this is, it's a real thing apparently that would be done. And after you hear Friedkin or whatever, the fucking consultant on the movie explain this, you're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, now I get it. But you shouldn't have to rely on the fucking special featurette making of.
And also a young Al Bundy in the interrogation room.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
there you go, guys.
Got full head of hair.
Wow, there you go. That's why I didn't notice.
Yeah, the 1979 Al Bundy.
Well, on that note, let's get out of here so we can go down to the nudie bar.
to the rough trade.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To the nudie bar. What I really mean is to go down to the rough trade gay sex club where I can.
What color handkerchief are you going to put in your back pocket? Yellow.
Yellow, right pocket.
Boy, that's the wrong fucking side, asshole.
No, that means that I like to give.
I like how mad that guy was.
Yeah, exactly. And also how he's wearing the yellow bandana around his neck, like he's just like,
that's like, both sides.
Yeah, like I let
both pockets right here.
Yeah, I'll open my mouth and I'll swallow a full fucking piss, like a full fucking, wake up in the morning, fucking dark yellow piss in my mouth. Yeah, that's so funny. That guy's just like, even that perfectly cast too. I mean, he's sort of like red curly hair. Like, I mean, of course that guy is going to be really into piss.
Yeah, that guy loves piss. His hair used to be brown.
Yeah, actually, in the credits, he's credited as Piss Guy. Not really. I was trying to trick you there. Anyways, all right, we're done. What's the? Oh, did you break something?
No, my remote just fell on the floor as I was trying to put my
dildo away
in my computer. I'm just trying to get my Tenga can ready.
I always talk about gay sex. Got me fucking hard as a rock. What's your rating for cruising? I think
a 4.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I don't want to sound.
I think I liked it. I've seen it twice. I think I liked it even more the second time.
Yeah. I think it's a 3.5 for me. I don't want anyone to think I'm queer.
So just 5.5 more than The Guardian?
I mean, if I think about just a thing that I want to put on and that's going to like bring me joy, Cruising. Yeah, like I'd say cruising is going to bring me a little more joy than The Guardian, to be honest. I mean,
I'm giving it a solid 4. Yeah, like even though I feel like it's flawed, and there's problems, like it's still, and there's something to the ambiguousness of it that lends to multiple viewings to try to like figure out what is going on, what Friedkin is thinking, what Pacino, the Pacino character is thinking. It's cool, and it's also just that period of time in New York. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Like that's all interesting and stuff, but I mean, my personal rating is still a 3.5. I'm gonna save the 4 for.
You're only half gay.
That's true. I mean, we should probably look at some more Friedkin movies. I was actually almost gonna say we should look at To Live and Die in
Boys
L.A.
in the Band.
Yeah, Boys in the Band, Rampage, that one with Tommy Lee Jones, that I can't remember the name.
Rampage is like I remember driving like 90 minutes to a theater to go see fucking Rampage. It was the only theater that was showing Rampage in my state, or that side of my state. And so we drove there, and man, what a disappointment that was.
Yeah,
maybe my perspective was tainted because of the like making the effort to see this thing, and it not really
expectations,
the promise. I mean, when you're going to see a movie called Rampage, you want to see some fucking rampaging. Mm-hmm. There's no rampaging. It's a full on court drama.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not a great movie, but I don't think it's a terrible movie either. I think that it's just sort of a tepid court drama that's like very watchable, but it's not. If you told me that it wasn't directed by William Friedkin and it was like a TV movie or something, I would believe you.
Yeah, it's how it feels.
There's just real quick. I have to go very soon. I'm sure you do as well. But I saw this movie called I think it's called I Know My Name Is Steven or something. It's like a TV. I think it was like a CBS TV movie.
About a retard?
No. It's about a kid who is kidnapped by
retard?
by a retard. Well, yeah, probably.
A gay retard.
a kid who was kidnapped when he was like a little boy, and then he basically tells the kid like, yeah, your parents are out of money, so they sent me to take care of you. I'm going to be your dad now. And he's like, I want to talk to my mom and dad. I don't believe you. And he's like, okay, well, I'll call them. Okay, well, I couldn't. I left a message. I told him to call me back. I left my number, but so I'll let you know when they call me back. And naturally, the kid's parents never call him back. And then he just ends up spending 7 years with the fucking weirdo, and he gets molested by him and everything. And his friends, he has like school friends that come over, and the fake father molests his friends too. And this is all based on a true story. And like the kid who plays. The actor who plays like the little kid when he's little is the kid from The Wizard, from the Fred Savage movie. The little boy who's like, California. You ever see that movie? No. Okay, that's probably you're too old for that. You're like a Gen X.
I mean, that sounds gayer than cruising.
What The Wizard?
The Wizard.
Oh, okay, that's actually the name of the guy with the red hair and the yellow bandana around his neck. But
Wizard.
Yeah, no, just WHIZZARD.
Whiz.
Yeah. And then, who else is in that movie? Well, the only reason I wanted to bring it up is that I found out that like one of the cops in the movie was actually played by the kid who was really abducted. Like he actually just shows up in the movie to play to stand around and be like a cop to appear in his own movie, and playing against the other cop who's Bryan Cranston, who's famously Walter White from Breaking Bad. Anyways, all this movie's fucking long because I think it was like 2 parts or something, and it was like this 3-hour long movie, and then it ends with the movie ends, and then a fucking epilogue and text comes up on the screen, and it says that the kid was run over on his bicycle. By a fucking hit and run. Like that's how he, after doing all this stuff, it's like Stephen Partridge.
That sounds familiar because I think like that kid, his brother, then became the serial killer that killed the women in Yosemite Park.
It's not this. I think they would have mentioned that. I don't think it's the same one.
Well, I mean, that might have happened like later. I don't know. Look it up.
I will. All right, that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Bye.